3 years ago I worked for a search and rescue team. Most of the time our job was simple: find lost hikers, injured climbers, or missing campers. But sometimes, we found things that were much harder to explain. There's something about deep forests that feels wrong. You don't notice it during the day. But when the sun goes down, the silence becomes unnatural. Too quiet. Like the forest itself is listening. One night we received a call about a missing child. A 9-year-old boy who had wandered away from his family while camping. We arrived just before sunset. Our team split into groups and started searching. The forest was dense. Old trees blocked most of the moonlight. Our flashlights barely reached 10 meters ahead. That's when one of my teammates stopped walking. "Do you see that?" he whispered. I followed the beam of his flashlight. And that's when I saw them. Stairs. Just stairs. Standing in the middle of the forest. No building. No walls. Just a staircase leading up into the darkness. Every search and rescue team has stories. Stories they tell the new recruits. Warnings. Things you should never do in the forest. One of those rules was simple. If you ever find stairs in the woods, ignore them. No one ever explained why. And until that night, I thought it was just a joke. But the stairs in front of us were real. Old. Covered in moss. Like they had been standing there for decades. My teammate whispered, "We should report it." But another member of our team shook his head. "Forget it. We're here for the kid." So we walked past them. Or at least, we tried to. Because as we walked deeper into the forest, we saw another set of stairs. And another. And another. Each one different. Some wooden. Some stone. Some broken. All leading up into nothing. Around midnight we finally heard something. A voice. A child crying. Help. It came from somewhere deeper in the forest. We ran toward the sound. Branches snapping under our boots. And then we found him. The missing boy. Sitting at the base of a tall staircase. At least 20 steps high. He wasn't crying anymore. He was just staring at the stairs. My partner approached him slowly. "Hey buddy, we're here to help you." The boy pointed upward. And whispered something that still haunts me. He told me not to go higher. My partner asked, "Who told you?" The boy pointed at the top of the stairs. But there was nothing there. Just darkness. We started leading the boy away. But as we walked, something strange happened. The forest became quiet. Completely silent. Even the wind stopped. Then we heard it. A voice. From the top of the stairs. It sounded calm. Almost friendly. "You can come up now." The boy stopped walking immediately. His eyes locked onto the staircase. My teammate grabbed his arm. "Don't listen." But the voice spoke again. And this time, it sounded different. Because the voice was now my teammate's voice. Perfectly copied. "Come up here. We found something." Every hair on my arm stood up. The voice laughed softly. Then it said something that made my blood run cold. "Why are you leaving? Your friend is already here." We looked back at the staircase. And that's when we saw it. A silhouette standing at the top. Tall. Too tall. Its arms were long enough to reach its knees. It wasn't moving. Just watching us. Then the boy whispered, "That's the man who told me to climb." The thing slowly bent forward. Its head twisted sideways. Like it was studying us. Then it spoke again. But now its voice changed every few seconds. My voice. My partner's voice. The boy's voice. All mixed together. "Come up. One of the rescuers behind me suddenly started walking toward the stairs. I grabbed his shoulder. "What are you doing?" He looked confused. "Don't you hear them?" "Hear who?" He pointed upward. "They're calling us." The rest happened very fast. Before anyone could stop him, he started climbing. Step. 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 Halfway up the staircase, he stopped. The figure at the top slowly leaned down toward him. And then, he disappeared. Not fell. Not jumped. Just vanished. Like he had never been there. We ran. All of us. Even the boy. We didn't stop running until we reached the trucks. No one spoke during the drive back. But just before we left the forest, the radio turned on by itself. Static filled the car. Then a voice came through. A voice we all recognized. The rescuer who climbed the stairs. He sounded calm. Too calm. And he said only one sentence. "Why didn't you follow me?" After that night, none of us ever talked about the stairs again. Officially, the report said the missing rescuer fell into a ravine during the search. That was the story we told the police. But we all knew it wasn't true. You don't just disappear in the air. And people don't vanish halfway up a staircase. For almost a year nothing happened. Until we got another call. Another missing person. Another forest. And when we checked the location on the map, my stomach dropped. Because it was the exact same area. When we arrived, the forest looked normal. Too normal. The air felt heavy, like the forest didn't want us there. Our team leader stopped us before we went deeper. And he said something I had never heard before. New rule. If you see stairs, we leave. No searching. No exploring. Just leave. Everyone agreed. But deep down, I knew we wouldn't. Because if a missing person was near those stairs, we wouldn't abandon them. Even if it meant going near that place again. This time we brought equipment. Thermal cameras. Drones. Body cameras. If something strange happened again, we wanted proof. About an hour into the search, one of the drones picked something up. A structure. In the middle of the forest. When the camera zoomed in, I felt my heart stop. Another staircase. But this one was different. It was huge. At least 3 stories tall. Standing alone between the trees. No walls. No building. Just steps leading into darkness. We approached slowly. The forest was silent again. No wind. No insects. Nothing. Then we heard something. Footsteps. Coming from the top of the stairs. But there was no one visible. Just steps. Walking slowly. Back and forth. Then the radio on my vest suddenly turned on. Static filled the speaker. And a voice came through. A voice we all recognized. The rescuer who disappeared a year ago. "Hey guys." The entire team froze. The voice sounded normal. Relaxed. Almost cheerful. "You finally came back." We checked the radio frequency. It wasn't coming from our equipment. It was coming from above the stairs. Then the voice continued. "I've been waiting." My teammate shouted into the radio. "Where are you?" The answer came immediately. "Up here." The drone camera tilted upward. And that's when we saw something that shouldn't exist. At the very top of the staircase, there was a door. Floating in the air. An old wooden door. Slowly swinging open. Something stepped out. At first we thought it was him. The missing rescuer. Same height. Same clothes. Same face. But when the drone zoomed in, we saw the problem. His smile was too wide. His eyes were completely black. And his arms were too long. The figure started walking down the stairs. Slowly. Step by step. But with every step, his body started changing. His face shifted. First into another teammate. Then another. Then another. Like it was trying on different human faces. Then it stopped halfway down. And spoke again. This time in all of our voices at once. Which one of you wants to come up next? Our team leader shouted one word. Run. We didn't argue. We ran. Branches hitting our faces. Boots crashing through leaves. No one looked back. Until the radio turned on again. The same voice whispered quietly. Don't worry. You'll all come back eventually. Then the signal cut. The drone camera died. And the forest became silent again. We reviewed the drone footage the next day. The moment we started running, the camera turned upward. Pointing at the top of the stairs. The door was still open. But something else was standing there now, dozens of silhouettes. Watching us leave. And one of them waved. After that second search mission, the forest was closed. Officials said it was because of dangerous terrain. But that wasn't the real reason. The real reason was the footage. The footage from the drone. Because when the investigators slowed it down frame by frame, they noticed something none of us saw that night. The silhouettes standing at the top of the stairs were moving. Slowly. Stepping closer to the edge. Watching us run. But the worst part was recognizing them. Because those shapes weren't random. They looked exactly like missing people from past search cases, people who were never found. Campers. Hikers. Children. Dozens of them. Standing silently at the top of the stairs. 6 months later, I left the search and rescue team. I couldn't sleep anymore. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw those stairs. But one night something happened that pulled me back. At 3:14 a.m., my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered without thinking. At first there was only static. Then a voice spoke quietly. Hey. My heart stopped. Because it was the rescuer who disappeared. The same voice we heard on the radio. You guys left too early. My hands started shaking. I whispered into the phone, where are you? The voice answered immediately. Still here. Then the call ended. A few seconds later I received a message. Just a location. A GPS coordinate. Deep in the forest. I should have ignored it. But curiosity is a dangerous thing. 2 nights later I drove back to that forest. I didn't tell anyone. No team. No cameras. Just me. And the coordinates. The deeper I walked into the woods, the colder the air became. Then the trees opened into a clearing. And I saw them again. The stairs. But something had changed. There were now dozens of staircases, everywhere. Different shapes. Different sizes. All leading up to nothing. Except the largest one in the center. The one with the door at the top. The forest was silent again. Then the door slowly creaked open. And a voice called down. Welcome back. The figure stepped out. But it wasn't copying faces anymore. It wasn't pretending. It was tall. Too tall. Its arms stretched almost to the ground. Its head tilted sideways as it watched me. Then it spoke again. You finally came alone. I wanted to run. But my legs wouldn't move. The creature pointed upward. Come see where they went. And that's when I heard something from above the door. Footsteps. Hundreds of them. Walking slowly. The door opened wider. And I saw what was behind it. Not a room. Not a building. An entire city. Dark. Silent. Filled with endless staircases rising into the sky. And on every staircase, people were standing. Watching. Thousands of them. All staring directly at me. Then the creature whispered, "They climbed. They belong here now." I don't remember climbing the stairs. But I know I did. Because the last thing on my phone recording is this: the door. The city. And the creature standing beside me. It turns toward the camera. And smiles. Then it says something quietly. Something meant for anyone watching the video. "Don't worry. There's always room for one more." The recording ends there. But when the police found my phone 2 weeks later, the stairs weren't in the forest anymore. The clearing was empty. No structures. No footprints. Nothing. Just trees. But when they checked the final frame of the video, they noticed one last detail. Standing behind the creature, on one of the staircases in the distance, was me. Watching the camera. And slowly raising my hand. To wave.